You were step one in the women's programme at Leicester Tigers. The first appointment when the team became Lichfield Leicester Tigers, and then just Leicester Tigers, where the team went from Championship Rugby, Leicester Tigers' first ever women's Premiership team. How much pride have you felt throughout that journey?
Yeah, it's immense, the pride and the joy in seeing a team develop this far and come this far in such a short period of time. To be there at the conception, to be there at that first planning meeting, right, what do we do? You know, blank piece of paper. For me, that was what it was about, getting a Leicester Tigers women's programme and making sure that we leave a legacy behind. And I leave a legacy behind me because, you know, we needed to get the ball rolling, we needed to get it moving, and we absolutely did that. So super happy that, you know, the journey's come this far, and it's going to be, you know, amazing in the future as well. So I'm really, really excited for the future, and I'm really proud of how we've got to this point, and the legacy we've left.
In that time, you've obviously seen the side's first steps as a team. You've been on the sideline, even on the bench at one point, in an unbeaten championship season, all the way through to recording 2 Premiership wins in an amazing campaign. What has been the success over all that time that's brought you the most joy?
Gosh, that's difficult. There's been so many exciting steps along the journey, but I think initially getting the championship place, because that took a lot of hoops, jumping through hoops, and lots of paperwork and lots of interesting conversations to make sure that Leicester Tigers had a championship team. Once that happened and we'd recruited, looking back in the recruitment process and bringing in players from everywhere, from different sports coming into trial initially, that was really exciting. The Prem bid, that was a big thing, travelling down to London for the final interview and making sure that we'd ticked every box and that we got everything in place for Premiership. But I think really it's got to be that first win at Sale, the victory at Sale, where our backs were against the wall, the weather was awful, we were on the road, furthest trip away, and somehow the resilience and that, just the belief in the team just really showed. And I think we've been through so much together as a squad and as a team. That just culminated in that moment was victory when it wasn't ours, and we clinched it. And yeah, I was really, really proud of the squad that day. Had a few tears. I think you were near me, Mr. Buckley, actually. Yeah, it was great to see that first victory, to know that we'd come from nothing to winning a Premiership game was huge. So yeah, for me it was probably that moment really was the pinnacle, but there'll be plenty more of those to come.
It was quite an emotional day indeed. In the time that you've been here, you've seen incredible growth in our individual projects, but also the development of the women's game as a whole has always been close to your heart. You said when you first began the growth of the sport has been phenomenal, and that was all the way back in 2021. How have you seen things grow further since then, and what trajectory do you think women's rugby is on?
Oh, it's huge, isn't it? It makes me smile to think about where we've come from, where we are going towards, and the trajectory is just getting steeper and quicker as we approach the World Cup 2025. So I'm just super excited for the growth of the game and the whole game. And in terms of Leicester Tigers and their growth, I've just seen so much belief in this squad in here, in this changing room. You know, knowing what we've done and how far we've come, we've got some great characters in the squad that are going to bounce the team forwards even further. But yeah, I think for me it's just the whole journey, knowing that I came from an England team that had, you know, max probably 3,000 supporters watching, to knowing that now the England team have 58,000 at Twickenham. I know this place will be rocking one day, full of women's rugby fans, you know, and we're on that growth path already here at Leicester Tigers. So yeah, I'm just super happy that what I've done is left a marker in the sand, and what I've managed to achieve here, along with a lot of amazing people. We've managed to really grow something special, a great squad, a good work ethic. And I think the fact that the squad have worked so hard over the last 2 years, and it's not been easy, you know, lots of ups, lots of downs. And I think that the core squad stuck together, and I think that's vital in any success of any team.
You touched on players that will lead this team into the future, and you've talked about the strength of character that you've seen in the squad throughout your time. When it was announced that you were going, you spoke about the foundations that have been put in place. And so from a playing side, from the players that you've seen wear the badge, who would you say embodies those foundations over the last few years of this journey? Who's been crucial for you over the last 2 years, and who do you think is going to help carry this club forward into the future?
I think there's been so many people. I know it's a difficult one thinking back. There's been people that have played their part as it's evolved. You know, through from Lichfield partnering originally. I think player-wise, Meg Jones and Amy Macqueen, you know, those first initial signings have really carried us, you know, through having that leadership, having that experience, having that belief in what they were about, and they came to the squad knowing nothing about Leicester Tigers really in terms of a women's programme. They had that belief, and I think that's, you know, ignited the squad to believe. And, you know, the leaders that stepped up from the Championship as well, so, you know, your Rasheen McBride, Tash Jones, our captain, Charlotte Frey, one of the ones coming through. I think the Championship squad have left us in a really good place, and I think a lot of them made a step up that perhaps not everybody thought they could. So I think, yeah, lots of characters. I've probably missed a few out. But yeah, the girls are a great group, and they'll keep driving this club forwards.
A lot of time here, when we spoke to you on Mother's Day, you've been lucky enough to experience with your sons Harry and Matt. They were present at lots of sessions. They saw you run out briefly for Tigers and next match, or whatever you say. And they were the two mascots at our final home game of the season this past weekend. How much has it meant to you to have them by your side at key moments throughout the gym?
It's been so important. I think when you have children, you know, everything changes, and, you know, your whole life perspective changes. But I think for them to see, you know, to see me create something really special, to see how hard it's been, to see the drive and determination you need to succeed. That's, you know, as myself as the director of the programme, but also, you know, to see the players working so hard and the coaches. I think they've had a real insight to hard work really does equal results. So yeah, and they've enjoyed it. They've been enjoying, you know, getting the chance to run out onto the pitch, you know, to be part of something really special, wear the badge. And yeah, I think they've had a great experience and something they'll take into their future sports performances, I'm sure, as well. We've got a rugby and a football, so both watch this space for the Macqueen boys.
Anyone who knows you and has worked with you knows that both on and off the pitch you're mad for his next job. So to finish off, what next for Vicky Macqueen?
Next job, make an impact. Keep making an impact on the sport as a whole, on women's sport as a whole, and yeah, just making sure that everything I do with the passion and determination I always have done, and make a success of whatever that might be.